Check it out. It's Mr. Royce Media coming at you guys with another video. Try to catch the remainder of this daylight before it gets too dark. But I want to talk about something that kind of bounced off what my boy G Dizzle talked about recently. That was a combat sport match in which one of the fighters, a fighter by the name of Tyron Woodley, gave a press conference prior to the fight, and he kept responding with Black Lives Matter. And from what it seems, that he was responding with Black Lives Matter to counter his opponent's obvious support for Donald Trump. His opponent was Colby Covington, and Colby Covington is an avid Donald Trump supporter. He did a press conference with a Make America Great hat on, said some things about his support for President Donald Trump. So like I said, this was Tyron Woodley's response, and I guess he had a hat that said "Make racists catch the fade again." Now, looking at all of this, this kind of reminds me of two fights where the fighters more or less got woke, and they kind of used that as the motivation for their fights, and they caught the fade. First would be Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson became Muslim, and he was using his conversion to Islam as motivation in his fight against Evander Holyfield, who was an Advent Christian at the time. Well, we know in that fight, Mike Tyson caught the fade, got frustrated so much in that fight, he tried to bite Evander Holyfield's ear off, and he didn't endear himself to the public any more than he already was. In fact, kind of, helped turn the public against him during that time. And the second was Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder had two fights with British heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. First fight was a draw, even though I personally think that Tyson Fury won that fight with the exception of two knockdowns. I think he dominated every other round of that fight, which went the distance. And then the second fight, and a lot of those pre-fight conferences and interviews, our boy Deontay Wilder got real woke, and to the point to where he had this statement when talking about the oppression of black Americans. He was like, to this day. And when I heard it, I was like, oh shit, this dude's gonna fuck around and get knocked out. Watch. Sure enough, he got outboxed, he got dropped, and then he suffered a TKO loss to Tyson Fury. And was not a good look. With Tyron Woodley, him and Colby Covington, they had their fight Saturday, and Colby Covington came to win, and he did. He laid a ass whooping on Tyron Woodley, gaining a TKO victory in the fourth round. To add insult to injury, after the fight, Donald Trump actually called Colby Covington to congratulate him on his victory. I say all of that to say this. Hey, when you get those, when you combat sport fighters get involved with those causes like that, be real careful of how you use that as motivations for your fights, because y'all ain't winning them fights, getting your asses whooped, getting knocked out. You know, I mean, man, it's not a good look for your cause. You know, especially if you're trying to rally support. I get it, trying to sell the fight because that's what fighters do. I understand that, you know, and I understand there's nothing more polarizing than our fights, especially when you have people of different races and different nationalities in the fights. I mean, yeah, sells fights, but man, when you're on the losing end of that fight, it's rough. It all reminds me of that movie, The Great White Hype, when the white guy was, you know, they set him up to be, you know, Captain Ireland or what have you, and he got his ass whooped by Damon Wayans' character. This is happening in reverse in real life to you guys, so y'all got to stop that. It's not a good look, man. Whatever happened to the days of just saying, you know, you and your opponent train hard and, you know, are high level fighters, and, you know, the audience can expect a great fight and may the best man win. I mean, that's safe. You go out there and you try to make it about, you know, racial or social issues, and you don't win, you look like a sucker. Straight up, you know. I remember back in the day, I had a fight, and the promoter, not realizing I have a Central American and Caribbean background, he tried to make it with me and the fighter, you know, USA versus Cuba. And I was like, hey, first of all, I got family in Cuba. I don't feel all like that about it. You know, with the Cuban fighter, he took the bait. He was all talking about, you know, his people and stuff like that. And I beat the brakes off that dude. It was 5 rounds of worst beating he had ever had in his life. He screamed like a bitch for the entire 5 rounds. He had never been hit that hard. He never been dropped on his ass like that. He had never had somebody to just beat him up just to beat him up. You know, it wasn't a competitive fight at all. You know, he was, you know, former champion from Cuba, and he got the ass whooping of a lifetime. He ended up quitting the sport after that, you know. So but I wasn't repping USA or nothing else. I was just out. I was just like, all right, we're gonna get out there. I'm gonna see what he's made of. I'm gonna push him to his limit, and I did, and it wasn't hard. So, you know, I say all of that to say this: leave them dumbass social causes at home. Talk about that shit when you ain't fighting, cause it's safer. Anyway, this is Mr. Royce Media. Like, share, subscribe. Get in the comment section. If you got some topics you want me to talk about, put them in the comment section, and if it's a decent topic, I'll address it. I'm gonna set up soon where I'm gonna be doing you know, per purchase videos for you guys, talking about different subjects and stuff, and we're gonna see how that goes. It's Mr. Royce of Royce Media. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.